How does your body react in milliseconds? How do you think, feel, move, and remember? It all happens through the incredible nervous system.
All right, let's jump right in. Today, we are talking about maybe the most incredible part of you, your nervous system. Seriously, this thing is the command center for absolutely everything you do, from breathing and blinking to solving a puzzle or scoring a goal. So let's see how it all works. Think about this for a second. You accidentally touch a hot stove, and bam, your hand is already pulled back before you even consciously think, wow, that's hot. How on earth does that happen so fast? Well, it's not magic. It's your body's own super fast biological network kicking into high gear. The way to picture this is to think of your nervous system like a company headquarters. You've got the main command center where all the big decisions are made. And then you have this unbelievably fast communication network that sends messages out to every single part of your body and brings information back. These two have to work in perfect harmony to keep everything running smoothly. So let's meet the two main teams that make up this whole operation. First up, we have the central nervous system. You can just call it the CNS. And its partner is the peripheral nervous system, or the PNS. Okay, so here you can see exactly what we're talking about. That central part, the brain and the spinal cord, that's your CNS. It's literally the central hub. And all those nerves branching out from it, like a massive web of highways reaching every corner of your body, that's the PNS, connecting everything back to headquarters. This chart breaks it down perfectly. The CNS, your brain and spinal cord, is the thinker. Its job is to process all the info and decide what to do. The PNS is all the other nerves, and its job is to be the messenger. So the CNS is the boss, the command center, and the PNS, it's the super fast delivery service making sure the boss's orders get out and reports from the field get in. But how do these messages actually get sent? I mean, what are they made of? For that, we've got to zoom in, like way, way down to the microscopic level to meet the real rock stars of this system, the neurons. And this right here, the neuron, this is the absolute star of the show. It's a tiny little cell, but it's built for one thing, and one thing only, sending signals at incredible speeds. They are the couriers that make everything in your body happen. Check out this diagram. A neuron is basically a one-way street for information. See those little branches? Those are dendrites, and they receive the message. The signal then zips through the cell body and down that long tail, which is called an axon, to be sent on its way. It's a simple but ridiculously effective system. Receive, process, send, over and over. So here's the crazy part. To pass a message along, neurons don't even touch each other. There's this tiny, microscopic gap between them called a synapse. When a signal reaches the end of one neuron, it releases these little chemical messengers that float across the gap and tell the next neuron, hey, wake up, time to fire. It's like a tiny, lightning-fast relay race happening inside you all the time. Okay, so we've got the command center, the communication network, and the speedy messengers. Now let's put it all together and see how this incredible team works in real life, from those split-second reflexes to just, kicking back and relaxing. Pretty much everything your nervous system does boils down to this simple three-step dance. First, you get sensory input. Your PNS gathers info from the world. Second, integration. Your CNS figures out what that info means. And third, motor output. Your PNS carries out the order. Input, process, output. That's the game. Okay, let's go back to that hot stove, because this is so cool. When you touch it, a sensor in your skin, that's the PNS, sends a danger hot signal. But instead of going all the way to the brain, it takes a shortcut to the spinal cord, the CNS. The spinal cord immediately makes a decision and sends a command right back down to your muscle, through the PNS again, to pull away. It's a brilliant built-in safety feature that acts before your brain even gets the news. Right, so that reflex is automatic. But what about all the other stuff that's happening in the background? You're not sitting there telling your heart to beat or your lungs to breathe. So who's in charge of all that? Well, That's the job of another special department in your nervous system. Meet the autonomic nervous system, your body's autopilot. And it has two main modes. The sympathetic system is your fight or flight mode. It's your emergency response team. It jacks up your heart rate and gets you ready for action. And its partner, the parasympathetic system, is your rest and digest mode. It takes over when you're calm, slowing things down and taking care of maintenance like digesting food. It's a perfect balancing act. This whole network is just incredible, right? Which means keeping it healthy and strong is super important. Because if things go wrong, the effects can be pretty serious. But the good news is your body has a plan. It has its very own built-in repair crew that works 24/7 to maintain your nerve strength. When that communication network gets damaged or the signals get fuzzy, you can end up with things like muscle weakness, tingling feelings, or even memory problems. This just shows how much we rely on having strong, healthy nerves, on having good nerve strength for literally everything we do. But get this, your neurons aren't out there all alone. They have this amazing support team called glial cells. These are the real unsung heroes of your nervous system. They don't get as much press as neurons, but without them, the whole system would fall apart. So what does this repair crew actually do? Well, pretty much everything. They're like the chefs, providing food and nutrition to the neurons. They're the mechanics, helping repair damage. They're the cleanup crew, getting rid of waste and old cells. And they're the bodyguards, protecting your precious neurons from harm. They are the ultimate maintenance team for keeping your nerve strength up. And just to leave you with one last mind-blowing fact, let's talk about speed. The fastest signals in your nervous system travel at over 100 meters per second. What does that even mean? It means signals are firing through you at over 220 miles an hour, faster than a Formula One race car. That is just incredible. So just remember, inside you, right now, is this unbelievably complex network, sending signals faster than a race car every single second. It's sensing, it's learning, it's reacting, all to create you and your experience of the world. So the only real question is, what amazing thing is it going to help you do next?